Hey guys, the last Shoegazer here. I'm joining in on a little game of werewolf tag this evening. My buddy, 80s film fan, he tagged me along with my friend Jason over at Horrific Nightmares. So this is my response video. It's kind of ironic because a couple hours ago, I posted a top 5 werewolf movie rankings video. I've been thinking about doing that for a long time, and as 80s film fan mentioned in his tag video, I'm a huge werewolf fan. So I no sooner posted my top 5 movie ranking video until I saw that Deadly Dames posted kind of the initiation video for the werewolf tag here that I'm caught up in now. So yeah, all in one day posting 2 werewolf videos, so it was kind of meant to be. But yeah, let's get started. So answering question 1, what is my favorite werewolf movie and why? Well, a lot of my subscribers and people who watch my various videos know that I am a huge fan of Silver Bullet. This was the very first horror movie that I ever saw. I saw it as a pretty young guy. Whenever, you know, Friday the 13th was really booming, and a lot of really cool stuff was coming onto the scene. A lot of great slasher films and things that seemed really edgy and out there. Now looking back on it, a lot of this stuff looks pretty cheesy. It's just as fun, going back to that stuff now. And this is one of those for me. But yeah, I saw this on VHS at a friend's house. He was also a fan of the Friday the 13th series, and he popped this in for me, and he really didn't give me a whole lot of notice of what to expect, and I kind of assumed it was going to be some sort of a scary werewolf movie, but I really didn't have a whole lot to go on with my experience, so it really terrified me, so much so that I remember asking my dad to put a lock on my closet door because I was having dreams that a werewolf was in my closet. So yeah, I was pretty young, obviously, at the time, to be thinking that way. But yeah, I've since grown to adore this movie. Corey Haim, just awesome acting. Just a very lovable character. Your heart kind of breaks for him, but it's also empowering. He takes matters into his own hands. Reverend Lowe, played by Everett McGill, just phenomenal acting on both of their parts. Gary Busey, typical unhinged, goofy Gary Busey, but even, he did a great job as Uncle Red. Very lovable as well. And as I mentioned in my video earlier today, this movie gets a little bit of a bad rap from different people saying that the werewolf costume looked a lot like a bear, but it's its own style. I don't want every werewolf to look the same, and it's just what they went for, and I really think it turned out awesome. And my favorite sequence in here is the church. The dream sequence where everyone's transforming, and the organ player's just pounding away and the blood's coming out. I mean, that's just awesome stuff. This I show on my channel is the fairly new Australian Umbrella Blu-ray release that I picked up about a month or so ago. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about that, It's on my channel, but I was really happy to pick that up. But yeah, Silver Bullet, very nostalgic watch for me. Takes me back, to my first horror movie, my first werewolf experience, and makes me laugh now with how I reacted very intensely to that. So it just speaks to the the quality of the film and the story, and typical Stephen King. Just great storytelling, great character development. Awesome werewolf film. So that's number one. Number two, are werewolves better than vampires? I would say with confidence, yes. I am a fan of Interview with a Vampire, very gothic, epic, sprawling, across eras of time. It just is such an awesome, beautiful, dark story, tragic, in my opinion. And I feel like this is just a must own, in the way of vampire film. Another one is Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman. His role is just stunning. The acting is just completely disturbing and unsettling. So another great, vampire film. So I am a fan of certain vampire films. Nosferatu, I show this on my channel as well. The iconic silent film that was kind of illegal because they didn't get the rights to the Dracula story. So I like that this has surfaced in different versions since that time. This is the color tinted one with a couple different scores, but this is just completely unnerving, unsettling, very high contrast, awesome use of shadows. So huge fan of a couple of these classic, iconic vampire films, but I am hands down more of a fan of werewolves. I would say, vampires, their approach is a little more seductive and slow, whereas 80s film fans said it himself. The attacks are more brutal. In my opinion, werewolves are just by nature more primal, beast-like, whereas there's a certain beauty surrounding vampires. So yep, definitely werewolves. Number three, the most brutal scene. I would say, the different kills in Silver Bullet. The one that stands out in my mind, apart from the the gazebo park kill, where we really only feel how brutal the kill is by the look on the father's face when he sees his son, when he lifts up, the covering there. That's pretty, pretty intense. But the bedroom scene where the werewolf climbs up the lattice and goes in the woman's bedroom, when she's planning to pop a bunch of pills, and he's clawing at her back on the bed, and then the mom comes up the stairs with the gun and sees her daughter all clawed apart. And I would say that is just really great. Apart from that, I would say the kill in the moor, whenever he gets attacked for the first. It's just the makeup and the special effects that they incorporated there is just terrifying. Like, it looks very real, very intense, very savage. So I would say this is, Silver Bullet is my favorite werewolf movie, but the kill in the moor is just next level. So I would say that one. And then number four, the best werewolf transformation. Once again, I would say, An American Werewolf in London. This is my Blu-ray copy. It's fairly new in my collection. Yeah, I would say a lot of people, would agree there. Where he transforms for the first time in his girlfriend's pad, and it's just iconic. It just was never really done before like that. It looked very real. It took a lot of time to film. Took a lot of makeup, a lot of work, a full team to make it look like it did, and it's been an iconic scene in American cinema. So I would go with that as the best werewolf transformation. There's been a lot of other great ones too. The Howling included. That's another favorite. If you see my top 5 video that I posted today, you'll know that. Number 5, the worst movie with a werewolf premise. Underworld. Obviously, I own a couple of these. I have a few of the other ones elsewhere, but the Lycans. It's an entertaining idea. It's an entertaining story, fun action, but I don't know, the werewolf approach in these films, it just doesn't do it for me. So yeah, Underworld, the Lycans, not a huge fan. And the first werewolf movie, as I said, was Silver Bullet. I mentioned that before. Very memorable experience. Going back to that first time, in my buddy's basement, watching his old VHS, and sitting there, probably getting ready to piss my pants, and thinking, what did I get into? And now, years later, a grown man, and it's my favorite horror werewolf film. So yeah, this just has a special place in my memory and in my heart. So what are your thoughts on Silver Bullet? I know a lot of people's favorites, are like An American Werewolf in London. That's definitely one of mine. The Howling. But yeah, does this have a special place in any of your hearts? Kind of curious on that. I love it. And then number 7, favorite werewolf legend. That would have to be Lon Chaney Jr., the Wolfman, the original. Just a really solid start to the werewolf lore. Yeah. I love that cover too. It's one of those glow-in-the-dark covers that do not glow in the dark, but they look super cool. So, yep, the Wolfman. And last but not least, question 8. You asked for a werewolf howl, so here we go. Yeah, hope I didn't wake up my kids on that one. So I'm going to tag TheHORRORman, ANDREWBALLINA, and my buddy over at Last Venom 76. So you guys can check them out. I'll try to link them here in the description. But yeah, you can just scroll through my my channel subscriptions and click on them. And yeah, calling you out, guys. TheHORRORman, ANDREWBALLINA, and Last Venom 76. All right. Beware of the full moon.